Hi, today I'd like to talk about how I make platforms for dog training. Here are two samples of completed platforms. This is a double wide platform. This is just a single wide platform. I use a platform like this for behaviors that require a stand. This platform could be used as a sit platform for a smaller dog. Could be used for a pivot platform for a large dog. So this is what the platform looks like. This is duct tape. This is shelving paper. There are no seams where the dog could get the paw caught on it and rip it open. This is what's inside the platform. This is a piece of firm insulation. It's a Dow product. When I purchase it, I purchase a sheet of 4 feet by 8 feet. That is the smallest sheet that I have found. And it's just about 2 inches wide. After I've measured everything out the way I want it, it's time to cut the board. I am using a very small saw like this with a blade on it. It's a single blade. The first thing I do is I lay my 4 foot by 8 foot sheet down and I measure and mark off the size of the platforms that I want. To put together the materials to make your platforms, after you've gotten your styrofoam and you've decided what sizes you have to purchase the shelving paper if that's what you choose to use as your topper. So the shelving paper can come in different widths and different colors. This is pretty expensive stuff. The 4 by 8 sheet of styrofoam will run you under $30, but you'll only get maybe 4 to 6 platforms out of that, depending on the size. This is very expensive, and this is where the cost starts going up on your creating your platforms. When I cut the shelving paper, I cut it a little bit long. The width is almost exactly the width of the platform. This is a 3M product. It's a multi-purpose spray adhesive. This is what I've been using for my platforms. When you spray an adhesive, there is overspray. So when there's overspray, that means that overspray is going to get on things, and you have to plan ahead. So either you're going to put down a tarp, newspaper, large black plastic bags, cardboard boxes opened up, whatever you feel would cover an area, and then you can throw it away. When you apply the adhesive, follow the directions carefully. But I spray the adhesive. It has to sit for a given amount of time for it to get tacky, and I spray it on here. And it has to, again, sit until it's tacky to the touch. Okay? If it's wet, it's not ready. Laying this on the platform can be the most challenging part because once it's down, it's down. I usually do put it here, and I'll put enough there so I can fold this over, nice fold, and then cut it right about there. A fold over edge about like that from the top, and about the same thing from the bottom. I might have to add a little bit more adhesive to make those two ends stick together, or I might not. Okay. Since this shelving paper has been cut so perfectly, so it's got a perfect width, it's really helpful that when you cut your styrofoam, that it too has a pretty perfect width. That's kind of hard to do, but it's a goal. If this is on there and I get that kind of edge like that, boy, I got a problem. Do I cut it? How much can I cover with duct tape? I don't know. And if I have this much board showing here, then that means I've got all this sticking out over here. What am I going to do with this edge? So applying it, measuring it, cutting it, and then applying this paper, shelving paper, is really important that your measurements are right. Once all this is done, now I'm ready for my duct tape. Duct tape comes in many colors and designs. You can spend a lot of money on it, or you can go with the basic gray stuff. I like having color themes on my boards. Sometimes when people ask me to build a board for them, they want a certain theme. So, when you apply the duct tape, you will be applying it several rows of it over one side. You're not just going to put one row. And you can see that that duct tape is just as wide as this platform after everything's been added to it. But I've got to come over the edge here. I've got an edge I've got to come over, and I've got to come over an edge here. So I typically will put a strip along here and fold it over, and a strip along here and fold it over, and then a center strip to cover up the edges, and then I come around my corner. So doing your corners, think about, if you're a seamstress, you'll know how to do your corners very well. But think about where you make your cut, where your overlaps are, and how you make your good strong corners. So typically I do a cut like overlap like that, and overlap like that, and I get my corners. And then I go all the way around with my duct tape. So thanks to Georgianne and Gary, who taught me how to make platforms, and Gary did an awful lot of work trying to figure out what worked best, and I kind of took most of his ideas, made a couple small little changes myself, and now I know how to make platforms. So give